Frank's Red Hot is the perfect blend of flavor and heat, so you can use an entire bottle to make recipes like buffalo chicken dip or buffalo nachos, or even things that don't start with buffalo. Frank's Red Hot, I put that on everything.
Oh my gosh, Craig.
What are you worried about Cal? Is that why you're saying that?
No, that was a good oh my gosh.
Oh, of course.
That was like a stunned oh my gosh.
Because the Kyle Smith era has begun officially.
God. Look, I know people are tuning into this to hear us preview Cal, and I swear we will get to that, but holy shit, Craig.
But it just happened like an hour ago. So this is podcast versus everyone. We are basketball nerds, but we still talk about football. I am Craig Powers. With me is Jeff Newser.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Holy shit, Craig.
What, like, seriously, if they would have won that game by 10, I would be, like, flipping out right now.
No joke.
I've been like, dude, we are ahead of schedule.
I'm still not even done writing my recap yet because I'm just sort of, like, staring at my screen in, like, stunned silence, just thinking, like...
You staring at...
What?
You staring at that turnover number?
Oh... Three turnovers.
And
Craig.
my like in my head math is what, like I got about 67, 68 possessions. They turned the ball over 3 times. Okay,
hold on. So I also have another thing for you. So I can tell you that the turnover percentage was 4.2%. Do you know how I know that?
KenPom
Do you know how I know that?
Yeah, because KenPom just updated it.
And we just soared to number 134.
134 from 164.
We just soared up 30 spots after whipping Seattle by 30
I literally
points.
Updated it right as you were saying that. I've been refreshing it all night.
I know.
Like,
I was thinking maybe I would surprise you. I knew I figured the chances were small, but
71 possessions.
Yeah.
And 3 turnovers. 1.2 points per possession.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
It's oh my God.
We gave up 1 offensive rebound in the first half.
Yeah. The second half, there was a little bit of...
It was mostly in the last 10 minutes. After
and a lot of those were team rebounds. They were like knocked out of bounds type things.
So guys were contesting rebounds.
Our guys had a hand on them, and they bounced out,
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll break it down fully, on the full episode next week, but... God damn, that was so awesome. That was so much fun to watch. Like defense and rebounding and I'm not, obviously I loved the Bennetts and that was, I mean, for all the reasons we all love. But I'm also not one of those people who is like, there's only one way you can win in Pullman. And I was excited for Ken Bone, which obviously didn't work out, but whatever. It's like, but this, to see a team that has a fucking clue again, it's just like, I mean, Ernie, it's so clear that Ernie was mailing it in from day one. And it's like,
we knew that when it was happening, but now it's just...
We knew when he was hired,
really
and then you
obvious.
watch tonight, and you're just like, oh my God. And I know it's not a brand new team, but it's pretty close. There's there's a lot of new guys.
Well,
there's eight new scholarship players.
Ellaby is a...
Yeah, I was going to say.
stud.
But the one important holdover was CJ Ellaby, who had about the easiest 27 points you'll ever see. This side of Klay Thompson. So, just all around good feelings from that game. And I just, like I said, I'm not even done writing my recap because I've just had so much fun just being like, that was so cool.
I just want to throw it out there that the freshman from O'Day,
Noah
Williams,
yeah,
only 1 of 6 from the field, whatever. He had 9 rebounds in 13
4
minutes.
offensive rebounds.
4 offensive. Dude, the guy is athletic, and he was
6'5".
flying around.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
and that's we'll go on, but geez.
Yeah, I mean, I said to you, and this is totally hyperbole, but I mean, he's got a chance to be like our best defender since Kyle Weaver. And I know that's like one game hyperbole, just being excited, all that stuff. But I mean, the tools are there. He's long, he's rangy, he's athletic. I mean, he was contesting shots like crazy. He got called for one totally bullshit foul where he contested a shot and the guy fell over and wasn't touched. And yeah, he just, man, I can see why he was basically the first guy off the bench, the first guard off the bench. Tremendous. He was lost a couple times, but really you can just like see the potential. He's oozing potential. You can see it. So anyway.
Everyone that plays scored. Everyone that played defense.
Yes. Also true.
Even the guys last year that, of course, most of the guys that held over are the guys that you would expect would play defense.
Yeah, I mean, even Jervais Robinson, who got a ton of run, not much of an offensive presence, but
he came off. He was hitting some nice 17-footers off some screens.
Yeah.
We could get into this.
He played some okay defense last year as well.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't a total trash heap on defense. So yeah, so the guys that stuck, played some good defense, and it's clear that they've been working on that. The offense was hit and miss at times. They really benefit, but it shows you, and we're getting too deep into the weeds on this, but it shows you, just kind of as a last thought, how good an offense can be if you simply don't turn it over and you get some offensive rebounds. Like you do not have to shoot the lights out to have a good offensive performance.
Okay, one more thing. You would never see an Ernie Kent offense with 1.2 points per possession where their effective field goal percentage was under 50%.
Yep.
And that's what we just saw with the Cougs happen tonight. It's because they
So
only turned the ball over 3 times and they grabbed offensive rebounds, which I wouldn't expect the second part, to continue that much. But just not turning the ball over, such a big impact.
Yeah.
All right. And so as it also has on
not turning the ball over, let's talk about WSU football.
All right. Let's
start
that
transition.
Let's start, as we always do, with the other team's offense. And, oh, man. So, is Chase Garbers going to play? Probably not. It doesn't really look like he's going to. And if he does, he's going to probably be pretty hurt. It'd be pretty desperate. Cal is averaging 4.48 yards per play. That's
bad, Craig.
125th in the country.
Yes, that's not good.
Jeff, I was trying to find something that Cal's offense does well. Not even average. They occasionally have a run break off big. I don't know. If you run enough like they do, that's going to happen. I don't know. There's just nothing that. So one thing that they do decently well, above average, touchdown rates in the red zone. My guess is that since Garbers went down, they really haven't gotten in the red zone very much, and they probably had a decent touchdown rate when Garbers was in. Like against Ole Miss, I know they scored a bunch of touchdowns in the red zone again, and they did a couple times against UW. So maybe once Garbers went down, they just aren't getting to the red zone anymore, because really their red zone drive rate is 118th. So they only get to the red zone 17% of the time.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to overstate how terrible their offense is.
Yeah, if there's ever, and so we saw in the rain against a pretty decent offense in Colorado, the WSU defense had a pretty good game, and they have a chance for a get right game here again.
And by the way, so little stat for you here. In the last 3 games, they've had 3 trips into the red zone combined.
That is bad.
Against Oregon. Now, like 2 of those games, one was against Oregon, one was against Utah. So, for whatever that's worth. But
one of those defenses is really good, we know. But
one of those games was against Oregon State. And they made it into the red zone twice, and they had 1 TD. So they've had 1 red zone TD in the last 3 games from 3 trips inside the red zone.
Well, there you go.
Including 0 trips in the red zone their last game. So,
my hypothesis was probably correct.
And, I mean, obviously you can't, draw these straight lines, from one to the other. But Oregon State's defense is probably a little bit worse than ours. Maybe they were roughly equivalent earlier in the year, probably a little worse than ours at this point, and they still were only able to get in the red zone twice, still only able to score 17 points. So, those are the sorts of things that give you quite a bit of hope. for us heading down there.
Well, yeah. So just to make this part of the podcast a little longer, I don't know. They're averaging 4.7 yards per pass.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like,
that's really, really bad.
And they're 4.3 yards per rush, 4.7 yards per pass. Serious quarterback issues. Obviously, WSU not good at defending either of those things, but they're especially bad against quarterbacks who can be explosive. That we're not worried about this in this game. Like they just don't have the ability to throw the ball downfield. Like it's just not something. Their passing down success rate is, 80. Like they're decent. Like, well, they're still really bad, but not as bad as all their other stuff. But like, and a lot of that probably comes from when Garbers was still playing. Like any passing stat they have like the red zone touchdown rate. Like when Garber was still playing. Now I'm guessing the passing down rates there's not as many. They're just not. I mean, I guess they're just not. They're probably running the ball more. Their yards to go on third down. They're 127th. They average yards to go on third down, 8.4 yards to go on third down.
Yeah.
So we know that WSU is not so great in passing downs, but they've been a little better recently. But again, I don't think that Cal has the ability like Oregon, like Utah, like Arizona State to actually punish them that much for that weakness.
Right.
They probably will look a little better against WC's defense than they would against Oregon or whatever. But I don't think they don't have the ability to consistently punish them on third and longs all day. So
yeah.
And we've seen with WSU's defense, when they can focus on the run, they can do pretty well. And I think they're going to definitely do that because the Cal's passing game is so inept.
Well, and I mean, their running game is just as inept. I mean, it's last 5 games. Here's how many rushing yards they've had in each of the last 5 games. 60, 105, 66, 107, 23. That's really bad.
Yeah.
That's super bad.
Wait, they run the air raid, right? Sonny Dykes? No?
Yeah, right. But that's what's crazy. I mean, people keep talking about, Bo Baldwin, right? Like, remember when Bo Baldwin went down there and we were like, oh, shit, we're so fucked. Like, Baldwin's going to tear us, you asshole. And then it's like, okay, so, I guess you can make excuses for the quarterback situation, but it's also like, yo, these are the guys you recruited.
Right.
I mean, Wazoo's going on, their third quarterback in 3 years, and he seems to be doing just fine. And I understand Mike Leach is Mike Leach, but that's also to say, let's pump the brakes a little bit before we anoint somebody an offensive genius, right? Because this is obviously not working out so great down at Cal. And I know that, again, people will make excuses because of the quarterback, and that's probably legit, but there's
definitely
people get hurt. I mean,
there's definitely been a drop off in their offense.
People get hurt.
Went down. Yeah.
You better your offense better not be resting on one dude. So anyway, yeah, they're bad, and I would be amazingly disappointed if somehow Cal exceeded like 20 points, 24 points. Like, I'd be massily disappointed.
Yeah. Do you think Baldwin is wishing he had WSU's backup quarterback?
Hell yeah, he's wishing that. Yes, he is. They didn't recruit him at all. I don't know why. Maybe, I don't know if that's might be a Cal thing. I mean, I don't know if Cal
maybe Gerbrude's like, nah.
I mean, it's entirely possible Cal doesn't take grad transfers.
That's true.
But, I mean, it's also like, Gebrude probably thought he was going to start if he came here, or at least have a really, really good shot to start. And he's just sort of disappeared, hasn't he? Like, I don't know.
Like,
is he still on the team? Are we
Well, Tinsley.
People talking about Tinsley. Tinsley's the one getting in blowouts. Like, it's pretty wild.
It is wild.
It is wild. But anyway, we're off topic.
Sorry, Cal. We have.
Sorry, Cal. You're not interesting enough.
We are so blessed.
Backup quarterbacks.
We are so blessed with quarterbacks, and you're very average.
4 that you'd love to have.
Your very average starting quarterback went down. And
I'm kidding. Okay, like I'm not joking. If Cal, so Garbers, I'm not going to try and say every quarterback on our roster is better than Garbers, but I'll say that every quarterback on our roster is probably better than everybody else they have.
Right.
Even the freshmen.
At least 2 quarterbacks on our roster are better than Garbers too.
Yeah. I think so. Oh, Cal. Anyway.
I don't. Yeah. What they go from Sonny Dykes where they can't play defense but they can score, and they have good quarterbacks like Jared Goff, and then they flipped it on its head completely. Justin Wilcox playing defense, but now their offense like completely dead. I hate saying this now. I'm getting that fear of just like cursing us with the Cal bullshit.
Oh, we got plenty of time still to talk about the Cal bullshit.
Well, we should talk about it right now since we're shitting on Cal so much.
Since if it's likely to happen, it's going to be their offense doing something
definitely.
crazy.
There's the guy jumping and helicoptering into the end zone.
Yeah, like Modster is going to all of a sudden be breaking off these 30-yard scrambles and stuff.
Oh, definitely. So just so everyone knows, and in case
everyone's aware of the Cal bullshit, right? I mean, this isn't a secret, right?
So we're trying to objectively analyze the teams here, but there is this existence, particularly in Berkeley, but it also exists in Pullman, as we've seen many times as well. Oh, last year was just a prime example of Cal bullshit that we overcame because of Gardner Minshew. But intercepting, look like you're going for a touchdown, fumbling out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Right. That is Cal bullshit.
Yeah. And the weather,
weather and whatever.
It was rainy and windy and
in previous years, trying a fake punt for some goddamn reason. And it just failing, and then Cal scoring a touchdown. That's Cal bullshit. Giving up a 3rd and 37 on a run. God. That's Cal bullshit. There's so much Cal bullshit that exists in the world. Like,
let's take our top 10 team to Berkeley and try and play in the middle of a wildfire. How about that?
And then Luke Falk forgets how to play football.
Yeah, breaks his wrist or whatever he did. I don't know. That's the Cal bullshit.
That's the Cal bullshit.
So
that is the Cal bullshit. So
we're gonna avoid the Cal bullshit this time. Though. I feel it.
Shut up, Jeff.
I can't, dude. I'm riding high. I'm like, we got house money after tonight.
Yeah, man.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah,
I'm feeling invincible.
Let's have Kyle Smith coach the D. We box him out.
Let's send Kyle Smith to Berkeley just to be safe.
Just for vibes. Well, hey, they're playing Santa Clara on Tuesday.
It's true.
So they got to go down there anyway.
Oh, they do. They should totally do that.
He's got people to crash with. He just coached there for 2 years.
Of course he does. Dude, coach down there. He's probably still got like an apartment or I don't know. Whatever.
Just his presence, they'll play better defense.
That's right.
That's what happened tonight.
That's what happens when you bring Kyle Smith along.
Yeah, just everyone plays better defense.
Yeah, it's so hard to talk yourself into a scenario where Cal can score. Like maybe again, like when we talk about the Cal bullshit, it's like, if it's likely to happen anywhere, it's likely for weirdness to happen when we have the ball. Like, I think that's, Cal's defense is, maybe not as great as everyone thought it would be, but also has played pretty well against us. And, weirdness. I mean, look, the UCLA game showed us, how things can get weird,
right.
On the offense. So, I can buy into, oh yeah, look at all this weird random stuff that can happen with our offense. I just I have a hard time imagining anything very strange or random happening with Cal's offense. If anything happens, the weirdness, like I anticipate we'll talk about our offense
Jeff,
in a sec,
but Jeff, that's where they get you.
Yeah, I know. Like,
would you have expected to intercept the ball, run it all the way back to the 1, and then fumble out of the end zone with two different guys could have grabbed it and it just slipped through their hands, and
they just both shovel it out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, it's just
true. It's true, but I could see something like last year's game where
could you? Maybe we're gonna. Mike Leach would never fake a punt, ever.
No, of course not.
So don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that. That's right.
All right. Wait. Yeah.
Should we take a break and then get on to the offense?
Yeah, that's way more fun.
Okay. Let's talk about points, Craig.
Puntos. I'm still on them Mexican vibes.
Still got that Mexican vibe.
All right, I've switched my spreadsheet over to the defensive side. Cal's defense, pretty good. Not the elite top 10 defense that maybe we thought they could have been before the season. So they are not the scary, scary monster that when we were looking at this game in August, that they actually have turned out to be. They are, of course, better at defending the pass than they are at defending the run, which matters to us. But still, they're not as good as they were last year, where they were nails against the pass. Really, so they're 28th in SP Plus right now, which is pretty good. WSU just played Oregon when they were in the top 10 in SP Plus and pretty much did whatever the hell they wanted against them. So, I don't know, 28th ain't that scary. I think Arizona State's rated around there as well.
Still pretty damn good, though. I mean, the only team that's exceeded 30 points against them was Utah.
So Arizona State's 31st in SP Plus, and Oregon is 19th. So WSU has played some good defenses. The best defense that they played is Utah, and Utah's ranked 12th. I think Utah was just a particularly bad matchup, particularly because of the defensive line. Cal does have a superlative player in Evan Weaver, of course. Spokane
All-American. He'll be an All-American.
All-American for sure. One of the best players in the entire country.
Yep.
And he probably will make plays. He'll make plays that frustrate you, and he did last year in Pullman. And so he'll make plays that frustrate you and make you annoyed. But I still think, with WSU's attack, they have enough to score some points on them. So just to put some numbers on it, Cal 31st in yards per play allowed, pretty good, 5 yards a play. In passing yards per play, that's what y'all want to know. They are 31st in passing yards per play allowed, so about 5.5, pretty good. Yards per play rush, they're 4.6, so they're not that great in that. So again, Borgie and his limited attempts can maybe help the offense move along in case the rush is stagnant. One thing that does concern me, of course, is the red zone rate. It seems like every good defense that we play is good at defending the red zone. Cal's not very good at holding teams out of the red zone. They let teams get to the red zone on roughly 30% of their drives, which is 82nd nationally, but they only let teams score on roughly 55% of those drives, score a touchdown on 55% of those drives.
So you want some good news?
Yes, I do.
In the last 4 games, that's definitely seen an uptick. So Arizona State got in the end zone.
You mean when you're tired as hell because your offense isn't moving at all? Like it changes things?
Totally. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, so Arizona State got in the end zone on 3 of their 4 trips. Oregon State got in the end zone on all 3 of their trips. Utah got in the end zone on 4 of the 5 trips. The only team that was not good at punching it in the end zone was Oregon. They went 2 for 5, so they were at 40%, but everybody else was 75% or above. So, yeah, I mean, I think
the Oregon game was weird. I think there was a particular motivation. Like that was a lower scoring than their other games have been, and
that was a very weird game.
Yeah, I think
that
it's
game finished 17-7.
Yeah, I think Oregon might be getting everyone's best punch this year.
Yeah, I think there's some of that, and then also I think some of it was style, right? Like, Cal's going to be tough against the run. Oregon's like, well, fuck you. We're just going to run. And it's like, well, why?
Well, and Cal...
Like, you have Justin Herbert. Why are you... Anyway.
Well, and Cal can... Cal's good enough to force you to maybe throw the ball downfield a little more, which we know that Justin Herbert is
that's
not
his
good
strength.
at. Yep.
Yes, that is true. So,
because they definitely did that with Gardner a bit. Last year, so I mean, Justin Wilcox is a very talented defensive mind.
Yep, smart guy.
Glad he doesn't cut you down anymore. But yeah, so they're definitely solid defense. Like we're not gonna.
Yeah, they're good.
It's not gonna be like UCLA running up down the field or any other. Like it's probably gonna look more like the Arizona game, the Oregon game where we have good drives, we have bad drives, it's not going to be in every drive, but also this offense is cooking. This offense is cooking. Like, the only reason they haven't scored more is because they've been playing some good defenses, and that'll kind of. But they've made some really good defenses look.
Well, yeah, and we say the only
pedestrian.
reason they haven't scored more, and it's like they're still scoring like in the 30s,
mid-30s every game. Like I have no other than
we demand being in the 40s.
It's only other than the influence of Cal bullshit. Like there's no reason to think they couldn't get to the mid-30s again.
Yeah,
like that's the only other reason. But Cal bullshit exists, so
it does. It's real. It's a real thing.
We have to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
We have to acknowledge it as a society, a microculture or a subculture of WSU fans. Actually, as all Pac-12 fans should understand the Cal bullshit. But
I'm sure. I'm sure every school has their thing, like where it's just like this inexplicable like randomness that ends up biting them in the ass when they play just a particular team. I mean, like Zane even made reference to it on his data visualization preview, where it's like, he wrote about that 2014 game where was it 2014, right?
2014. No.
Yes.
No, 2014 is the dropped punt.
2014 was the one where they turned it over like Cal turned it over like 3 times inside the red zone or something like that.
Oh, the one they won?
The one we won. Yeah.
The big like 44-22. Was that wasn't that in 2013? Or wasn't that in the bowl year?
Maybe. I don't know.
Whatever. But I know what game you're talking about. But
yes,
Vince Melee runs
I think that's
over,
what I think it was 2013.
Vince Melee runs over a dude. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, I mean, it's just like even when we win, like dumb shit happens. Like,
that's funny. That game, probably statistically should have been a Cal win, and WSU won by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yep. And I remember we're all thinking, "Oh, we've turned the corner," because we wanted so bad to tuck ourselves in. I remember that vividly. And then I also remember the next year losing to Cal and being very upset. So.
And then you remember 2 years later, losing.
Yeah, 2 years later, losing to Cal and being very upset. But that turned out okay.
That turned out pretty good.
That turned out all right.
Would have rather had that Cal win, but.
Yes, but who knows? If we win that game, do we go on to beat Oregon the next week? Butterfly effect, Craig. Who knows what happens at that point?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't know, yeah. Gordo's slinging.
Yep.
Arconato's back. The offense has been better since Arconato's been back.
And I think the last game, I think, our outside receivers didn't do a ton of damage. and yet we were still able to move the ball and attack and score. And I think that's
what
having Arkin Autoback does for you. We can now attack all parts of the field. And okay, so Oregon did a good job shutting down our outside receivers for the most part, and yet we still, didn't have any problem moving the ball, didn't have any problem putting it in the end zone. The only thing that kept us out of the 40s was 2 drop passes, and that's it. So,
yep.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about when the Cougs are in second down? Like any second down.
I feel like that's their best down.
So WSU ranks number 1 in success rate on second down.
Oh, nailed it. I didn't know that. Will you please verify that I didn't know that you didn't tell me beforehand?
Actually, I know that you do not have you don't have access to the spreadsheet that I'm looking at.
Correct.
Pretty sure.
Correct.
So you wouldn't know that.
I would not know that. But yeah, because I just know from writing the recaps how often I look at our scoring drives and I just see
just second down,
because they never make it to third down. Yeah. So I see
so they're third in first down success rate, first and second down 69. I mean, I feel like they did that on purpose in third down success rate, and then eighth in fourth down success rate. So Mike Leach, go for it more.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
But yeah, 5th in passing down success rate, 7th in standard down success rate. This offense is insane. That's why I can't, it's, I know Cal bullshit exists, but how can they not score in the 30s here?
Yeah. Again, it's hard to imagine. I wouldn't expect 40s. I still think that Cal's pretty good. And I think that the one thing we have to beware of a little bit, and I realize we already talked about Cal's offense, but, if somehow, again, Cal is going to endeavor to limit possessions, just like a lot of other teams have tried to do against the Cougs. It's worked at some times and it's not worked at others. And, if you want to minimize the potential for bullshit, one way to do it is to, don't let Cal string together 6-7 minute drives, even if they don't end in points, right? Don't let them hold on to the ball for 6-7 minutes, get their asses off the field and go score, and keep putting them in bad positions. Don't let them play the field position game. Don't let them constantly make us go 80 or 70 or 90 yards. Right. Get the ball with a decent field position, get them off the field on third down, because we've been, pretty horrendous on third down defensively. If we can do those things, then I like our offensive chances. I think our offense in a lot of ways, it doesn't rely on the defense, but I think the defense controls to a large degree just how high the offense can go in this one, just because of the number. They have a lot of control over the number of possessions that the offense is ultimately going to get.
Well, yes, if the defense was a little better, we know where we'd be at right now. So,
yep.
Definitely, that's why exactly. One, Cal's defense is pretty good, so I wouldn't expect us to just roll over them. But I do expect us to be pretty damn good, because we've played some pretty damn good defenses in the last 4 games and shred them pretty well. Arizona State, Oregon, particularly. 3 games. So,
we ain't scared of nobody.
We ain't scared. I mean, this team has played since Utah. This team is rated 24th in SP Plus currently, and they've definitely played like that since the Utah game. You think about taking Arizona State, who is, I think, in the upper 30s, taking them down to the wire. That's kind of what you would expect between a 24th ranked team and a 31st ranked team or whatever on a home field. And then they obviously destroyed Colorado, nearly beat Oregon, who is in the top 10 in SP Plus. So they've definitely been playing like that team, and I fully expect them to keep doing that. I'm obviously terrified of the Cal bullshit, but we're trying to be objective here, Jeff. We're trying.
Yeah,
we're trying not to think of all the horrible things, because you can't think of the horrible things that can happen against Cal, because they're things that you couldn't possibly think of.
Okay, so here's my take on this. And I know we're going to get into predictions here in a sec. Like, what if this is the year where just everything is back assward? Like what if just
like the 2013?
Everything. Yeah, like just everything is weird and stupid. So like, for example, way back at the beginning of the year, we talked about games that we're more confident in that we shouldn't be, and mine was Utah. And the explanation was, well, we've kicked their asses like for, 4 straight times. Right. Oregon was the same deal, right? We beat them 4 straight times. And it's like, and then coming off of last year where we won all these close games. So like the opposite of that has happened like at every turn this year, right? We puked away the game against UCLA. We've lost these other close games. We're losing to teams we've been beating. So maybe this is the opposite of that, where the Cal bullshit finally ends and we just, put a boot through their noses.
God, I hope so.
I hope so too.
You want to do some predictions?
Sure, let's do it.
You first as always.
All right. I'm going to say the bullshit ends. I'm going to say 34-20.
You stole my fucking score.
Well, quit letting me go first, Craig.
Quit
letting me go first. It's this hive mind you and I got, dude.
It is a lot.
We're best friends. We just, we think like each other. We know.
Oh,
we know,
man.
Because we do. I mean, okay. I want to explore this for just a sec. Like, do you think it's because we both sort of being mathematically minded, analytic minded, we just sort of like think about the same sorts of probability factors, and so we sort of go, well, I think the most probable place the offense ends up is here, and I think the most probable place the defense end up is here, and that's how our
of course
our scores always end up similar.
You're thinking like field goals are likely, so that's why you said 34. That's 2 field goals.
I'm thinking they're going to settle for a couple of field goals, right?
You're thinking like Cal's like we'll let Cal's offense do better than they normally do, but just 20 points is better than they normally do. Right. So yeah, god damn, dude. Yeah, I know. Everyone, like, we always predict I think our scores every time have been roughly the same. But I'm just gonna, since you said 34-20, I'm just gonna, and that was the score I was gonna say. Like, I swear, I've been thinking about it the whole time. I was like, 2 field goals, blah blah blah. Yeah. So I'm gonna go. Actually, yeah. So I'm gonna go 45-17. Just a fucking.
There you go.
Just let's blow them out. The Cougs, of course. 45-17 Cougs.
I'm telling you, it's opposite year.
Opposite year. Blow them out.
Opposite
Fuck
year.
it. Fuck how bullshit.
Right.
I just want that game to be over because I want the MLS Cup.
Yeah. So, dude, we're gonna have this epic run because we are okay. So, are you going to the UW WSU soccer game tomorrow night with me?
Are you?
I'm going. We're going. I'm taking the whole family.
I might.
Yeah,
I might.
So okay,
may have to talk to Amanda about it. I might have to do that. Are you gonna give me a ride or what?
Kyle Smith wins tonight. We go beat UW in soccer again tomorrow, right? Because they haven't beaten us in like a decade.
More than that, UW hasn't
years?
beaten
13 years.
I think it's since 2003.
Yeah, long time. Okay, my math tells me that's like 16 years. So, okay, so then we're gonna go. We see that win. We're gonna kick the shit out of Cal, and then we're gonna hoist an MLS Cup on Sunday. It's gonna be like the greatest 4 days of sports ever.
Jeff and I are sitting right next to each other as we watch the MLS Cup.
Drinking beer, hugging.
Thank you, Michael Preston, for allowing us to buy tickets for less than $300.
Host of the Coug Center Hour coming through in the clutch.
He is a season ticket holder. That's stud.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm wearing a Sounders hoodie right now.
Yeah,
so I'm ready.
All right, dude.
I'm ready for this weekend.
I am so ready.
Kyle Smith got me, Kyle Smith and his team.
Yeah.
Got me off to a good start.
I want to hug every last one of those bastards.
Oh, I know.
just want to be like, thank you. thank you. I just want to give them long, uncomfortable hugs and whisper thank you into their ears to the point where they're like, "You're weird."
And then go to their relatives and be like, "You're not related to them."
No, I'm pretty sure.
Sorry, stealing your jokes.
Sorry, Jeff.
Stealing your jokes, Saturday Cast.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's your joke. Totally
Sorry,
stole
O'Neill.
it.
Pretty
sorry,
sure.
Jeff. Pretty sure.
Pretty sure. All
Pretty
right.
sure. Listen
Go
to Saturday
Cougs,
Cast.
Craig.
Go Cougs.